So when we teach the Holocaust, right, we focus on, well, the Holocaust, okay, what happened with the Jewish people in Nazi Germany, and that's a very common unit taught in social studies. But similarly to my recent video where I talked about, are we teaching slavery wrong? I wonder, is that the most impactful and meaningful way of teaching students about the Holocaust? You see, what happens when we teach one particular historical example like that, I think it's a little too easy for students to just lump that example and just judge and label those Germans and the Nazis as just evil, bad people limited to that time in history. So what if we taught a range of genocides? What if we looked at a 6 or 7 or 8 of the major genocides that have happened, right, in Rwanda and in Cambodia, and we look at in-groups and out-groups, and we look at the psychological reasons for why genocides happen, the economic, the social, the cultural, and we look at the range of possible contributing factors to why one group can try to exterminate another group. And, well, in today's day and age where everything's seeming so divided, wouldn't that be a really powerful unit to try to teach students? So now they're looking at it and saying, okay, this isn't just something that they did. This is possibly something that's in within all of us, to treat other people different on the groups they belong to and treat them worse based on their groups, and to denigrate other people based on their group belonging. I think, and then so that's really the key to teaching for conceptual understanding, right? To get these bigger ideas is we have to teach the factual content and the topics, but then we allow students to, after they've learned all that content, go, and now they start plucking out the examples and making the connections, and now they're abstracting the bigger ideas and they get a deeper understanding of this. And I think the same thing goes for when we teach war. We say origins of war. So we'll look at what caused World War I. Well, again, it's the same argument. It's very limited. So what if you taught origins of war and then you look at, say, a very specific example, a particular origin that contributed to a whole bunch of different wars? Right? So now, again, you're looking and going, right, this one particular factor could be an issue. So going back to genocide, again, if you're a history teacher, social studies teacher, if you're interested, if you're teaching NYP or if you're teaching Common Core social studies, whatever it is, if you would like to write a unit on genocide and a history of genocide and looking at those examples I talked about, or even take it in your own direction, how you think would be relevant. And if you like the thematic model of education, if you like the way I design the resources and the pedagogy that goes behind this material, like the chaser lesson plan, like the 3 levels of learning outcomes for every lesson, like the fact that textbooks are written lesson by lesson to make teachers' lives easier, all the supporting content that goes with it. If you're interested, please get in touch. This is how I want to expand. This is how I want to increase the impact that we can have on all teachers and help education. I think the one resource we're most short of is time. And so if we can create resources that are interesting, engaging, and provide a really good base for teachers to go from, then we can drastically reduce their planning time whilst helping them become better teachers because they have the materials there, also allowing them though to tweak and improve it in whichever way they like, right? So all of my materials are fully editable because I know I'm not arrogant enough to go that my stuff, this is the only way to do it. I am happy and want teachers to customize and tailor them to their own needs. Right, so if you're interested, get in touch. If you disagree, if you think that would be a bad idea to teach genocide, would that devalue the experience of the Jewish people by lumping them together with a whole bunch of other historical examples? Or would it elevate some of the lesser known historical examples of genocide? Could we look at maybe risk factors that contribute to genocide and perhaps do a research project and looking, are there any cultures or countries today which could be heading down that path, right? It would be naive to think that these things aren't going to happen again because they've happened, right, throughout history. But that's the purpose of history, right? To learn from the past mistakes so we don't repeat them in the future. But when we just do one isolated example, we, I think, prevent students from being able to see those common examples. All right, cheers. If you're interested, get in touch.